Hello, 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 and welcome to WrestleCollective Weekly. I am your host, Jordan Slick Blair Carter, always here with my collective brethren, here to bring you guys another great podcast episode. Please, if you're tuning in, please make sure to like and subscribe, share this video, make sure to hit that notification bell so you know when we go live every Thursday. As you guys see, I am not here alone. I am here with one particular new face. Is that Advocate down there?
Yes, I am currently reading right now, good sir. A very important book. The greatest wrestler of all time.
Right? Way to commit to the bit.
Way to commit to the bit.
Not a moment to spare either.
We're also joined here from our... Oh, well, there he just went.
No.
We are joined by my good friend Dev. How you doing today, man?
I think Hannibal had a lights out match, but I'm just glad to be here. I hope to see him as soon as possible. Another good week for the collective.
Yes, it is. We're also joined here by Grumpy Omega. How you doing, man?
Podcast day. I love it. Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, the big man who makes it all happen, Ryan Big Graps. How you doing?
My knees are shot, but I'm doing great, brother. Call me Tanahashi the way I got no knees no more.
Yes, and as you guys saw, I think we're having a bit of technical difficulties, but we'll get him back in here as soon as possible. We have our friend across the pond, Mr. Hannibal. A lot of technical difficulties today, but we'll get through it. We're going to have a good show regardless.
Not my fault for once. Not my fault for once.
We're going to be talking a lot of Cena today. As you guys know, Cena's last match is Saturday. But before we get into Cena, I want to know what is going on in your wrestling world. I want to start off with you, James. What is going on in your wrestling world?
Well, there's been a lot going on in my wrestling world. A lot of good. We had a great pay-per-view. We're having a great Continental Classic. I've been catching up on the GCW front. I think everybody knows that I've been covering a lot of American indie professional wrestling, and there's been a lot that's been going on with that. So I am I'm looking forward to and dreading at the same time, as I have to call the Nick Gage Invitational, which means there's going to be a lot of violence and bloodshed, folks. So yeah, I'm mentally preparing myself for that this week.
Worse, I thought I'd never hear the Nick Gage Invitational.
Winner robs a bank blindfolded.
Not yet. We haven't gotten to that point yet. Not yet.
Well, since you're back now, Hannibal, what is going on in your wrestling world?
How's the lights out match?
You're muted. You're muted.
First we lose the video, then we lose the audio.
I thought, I was going to be funny. I didn't mean to cosplay as John Moxley today, but I have. So, I mean, I guess what's going on in my wrestling world? Technical difficulties, but I think they're fixed now, so we should be good. Be good.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you.
Yes, good. We're all good. I'll go to you, Graps. What's going on in your wrestling world?
For once, I didn't get to watch Dynamite, but honestly, I'm just super excited about this. For once, I'm excited about WWE. I'm excited about the Saturday night's main event card coming up.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. We're definitely going to break it down. That is going to be kind of the meat of the show, so I'm very excited to talk about that. Grumpy, what's going on in your wrestling world?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you cut out for a second. I didn't hear my name. No, man, I am excited because this Saturday, it's going to be huge. It's going to be life-changing. It's a monumental occasion. My champion, Jamie Hayter, is tagging with Chris Statlander, and she's never been closer to getting her title back. She's right next to it. It's right within her grasp, and she's going to bring it home. I'm excited.
Yeah, shame on me for thinking you were going to be excited about John on Saturday.
Nope.
Dev, what's going on in your wrestling world, man?
I'm still just admiring Hannibal's Cena impression for roughly 2 to 3 minutes. The realest worker we could have. And yeah, I watched everything this week. So it's been, I'm a happy wrestling fan.
Hey, whatever you do, Hannibal, don't hurt your arm.
Well, my wrestling week has been it's been a good one. Been I've been feeding the trolls a little bit too much lately. You know, I've been giving them a little bit too much oxygen. That's what's been going on in my wrestling world. So,
Fire blanket.
Unfortunately, but we the strong will prevail, as they say. So I move forward. We march on. And I'll tell you mainly what's going on in my wrestling world, and I'll wrap it up with this. You guys know how important this is. If they're dragging you down, they're already far beneath you. So just a word to the wise for everybody. If they are dragging you down, they're already far beneath you. So obviously, unfortunately, Advocate is not here today. So, Graps, what happened this week in wrestling history?
Yeah, he's not here, but the tradition goes on. And so to honor our friend, the advocate of Enochiism, first up on the docket, December 8th, 1977, the famed Antonio Inoki versus Great Antonio match happened.
God.
Oh my
So
goodness.
That was
So-
really this. Oh my God. Wow.
That's
This was
crazy.
this past December 8th. So
So-
for those who don't know what this is, which if you're on wrestling internet, you probably know what this is by now. You've probably seen a couple videos. The match between Antonio Inoki versus the Great Antonio started out like most others do, but the Great Antonio's gimmick was that he would no-sell a bunch of your offense because he's the Great Antonio. I mean, look at him. This man's big as a house. And
He's
Inoki
great.
didn't like that much.
He may be the house.
But it was a house of straw, and the big bad wolf known as
I'll tell
Inoki
you
blew
how
it
I came
down.
across this. It was about 3-4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I don't know if you guys are aware of this YouTube channel, Grapple Vision.
Yes, Tonka Saw, baby. Represent.
And, he had a series of When Wrestling Gets Real.
Yep.
And this was one of the very first ones that I saw. And I'm just going to be honest, like seeing that image, Inoki just straight up Randy Orton punt this dude in his face. I was like, what? Like, it blew my mind. Wow, I didn't that this week. That's kind of crazy. I like that. That's a good one. That's a really good this week in wrestling.
I knew I'd make Advocate proud.
And from this moment on, the desire to start Pride FC was born.
yeah,
Cody
pretty
Rhodes
much.
sucks. Put the belt back on Roman.
That top picture,
Love that.
They're the
top
ones
picture
up
in the
for
corner there
Advocate.
looks like a fat Yuta.
He does look like a fan.
Holy wow.
Hard to argue.
That's disrespectful to Yuta, bro.
So next up, there's a lot of rumors about this guy being under the mask, being the guy who is doing the Rollins curb stomp, climbing out of the cage. And I mean, based on the way he looks now, I doubt it. But December 9th, 2001, the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller, Chris Jericho, beat both Stone Cold and The Rock on the same night to become the undisputed champion. The last man to hold the WCW world title before it was dissolved, Chris Jericho. Maybe he shows up next month. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he can hit a curb stomp and climb quickly out of a cage, but who knows?
I don't think I've ever heard about this. Has he ever mentioned it since it happened?
Maybe once or twice. I think it was on a list or something like that.
Yeah. It was a pretty big list as far as I remember. There was two
It kind of looked like the picture. I'm trying to, it's obviously a long time ago, and I'm old, but it kind of reminds me of something. But it's just not there.
Like a certain Mercedes? No. Anyway, I will say this. I loved when he did win and he would, one belt out, the next belt out. Like
those boys look heavy.
Oh yeah. He made wearing two belts look so fucking cool.
Yeah, he did.
Every time. Like I'm surprised that this, I barely remember this, but now that it's all flooding back.
Well, because
to
it
me.
hasn't been
He
brought up
was-
on WWE programming since about 2019. I'd
Something
say.
like that.
it-
Yeah. It's,
more or less like he was the last WCW champion.
Yep.
Yeah.
The guy who left WCW because he wasn't getting appreciated was the last WCW champion.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about, you know.
And then, as we all know, good things come in threes. And as Advocate always did, he always made sure to give 3 things that happened this week in wrestling. And number 3, we're going to go a little more recent. Actually, today, December 11th in 2014, we got to see the debut of Kevin Owens in NXT, where he beat CJ Parker. If you guys know who CJ Parker is now in the comments, let us know. Do you guys know who that is?
I do. Yeah. I was a big fan.
Yeah,
Big
little
fan.
rock
The
hard. He
name
broke
of-
his nose that night,
You did.
if you remember. And then later on in the night, after Sami Zayn beat Adrian Neville, now Pac, for the NXT title, Kevin Owens came out, celebrated until he, power bombed Sami Zayn onto the apron for the first time, killed his back, and then took the title.
Oh,
This
I forgot he was.
this shows the genius of Dusty's booking at the time. And I preface that because that's what it was. NXT Black and Gold was something else around this time, man. And this was the kickstart to that. This heel turn swerve was awesome. I love this show. This is one of my favorite NXT shows of all time. So I love.
I loved it because they really sold that power bomb to the apron.
Oh yeah.
Like, they made that, because then you guys remember when he got called up, he did it. I can't remember who he did it to, but he did it again when he got called up. You know, and I remember that time Kevin Owens was so hot.
Cena,
like
maybe?
I want to say it was maybe Cena, which is apropos. But I remember at the time that they made Kevin Owens this monster. He was kind of showing up on Raw on occasion, but then would mainly be on NXT. Like, they made him just this monster heel without.
He was the
him
best thing in the
having-
promotion.
The
made
best
him a-
thing.
They made him a
Period.
monster heel without having the stature of your typical monster. You know, he was a normal guy, and they made, but it was his viciousness, his savageness that they really pushed. This was a great callback. Great callback.
Dude, you know how good he was during that time? He got a compelling program
With
out of
Cena.
commentator Alex Riley.
And
Oh, yeah,
that's
he
another
did.
great one too. Yeah. That year, Kevin didn't miss, bro. He had a great program with
no,
Cena.
that was
He got fast tracked to the main roster because he was so good.
Because of that, yeah.
They couldn't ignore.
matter of
How
fact. If
great
I'm
Owens
remembering
was.
correctly, they branded him as like this fighting champion because he was the NXT champion.
Yeah.
Kind of, and showing up to Raw with the NXT belt. Like that was
Yeah,
kind of one of
and
the
then
first
he threw down the US title, stepped on it, put his belt up in
Put
the
him-
air.
yeah.
It was
he sure did,
fantastic, bro. It was,
was
it
great.
was cinema.
It was
I
a
missed
great
that
piece
KO.
of business
It really
Yeah.
was.
because
I
it
missed
really put over how big NXT was becoming.
I'll tell
Yes.
you, I'll give you one extra thing, and this is my favorite time of Owens' run around NXT Black and Gold. The one match we had between him and Samoa Joe. Fantastic, that match. Go out of your way to watch it. Go out of your way to watch it. It's from an NXT episode. I can't for the life of me remember what episode, but it happened on NXT Black and Gold, and it was superb.
It sounded like when you first said NXT Black and Gold, you said NXT Black and Coal, which
Payback.
would have probably been apropos at the time as well. But that time, I was really not watching much WWE, but I loved NXT.
Yeah.
I looked forward to NXT on a weekly basis because I was finding the main products a bit boring, but at that time they had like the best wrestlers with great stories. It peaked. It peaked for me.
100%.
So as we segue and transition here, before we talk about the last time being now, before we talk about, we're going to give a little bit of a retrospective on Cena's career, going to talk about Cena and his last match, the retirement tour and such. But before we get into that, what you guys think about Dynamite? It's a good show. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah, it's a great show. I really enjoyed it. So let's run over Dynamite really quickly. We're gonna hit some of the cliff notes here. The Babes of Wrath are your inaugural AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. I myself had the Timeless Love Bombs pegged as champions. I thought they were kind of a shoe-in to win. But yes, as you see, we have Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, the Babes of Wrath, winning and being the first ever Women's World Tag Team Champions of AEW. I think it was great. On my other podcast earlier today, which is No Dirt, Just Dialogue with Andrew Baydala. Check us out every Thursday, 1:30. Someone in the comments said that, asked, would Harley Cameron be the breakout wrestler of the year? And I think this image says it all, that she 100% is. These women do deserve it.
Yep.
Though it's a shocking, to me, it was a shock win. I loved it. What did you guys think? I want to start off with you, Hannibal. What you guys think?
Firstly, the first thing I saw in that picture was the sign in the background that said "Slop Tots."
Yeah.
That's why I was laughing. I wasn't laughing because of the result, because I had said that they were my underdogs to win the competition, so it wasn't a massive surprise. But also, to your other point, I said this on a space a few weeks ago. Somebody asked who the breakout star of 2025 was across all wrestling companies. A lot of people said Bandido. And there's a great argument for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at where Harley Cameron was this time last year to where she is now, and the things that she's done this year, she had the title match against Mercedes in Australia. She's had this great run. She's had all of these segments. She's been all over television. She has improved so much. She's tried so hard. And I think it's paid off. I'm not going to say she's the best women's wrestler, but in terms of somebody who was so green not even 12 months ago to now, showing that much improvement, yeah, I think it's Harley's year.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's really kind of grown into this role of hers. I want to go to Grumpy next. Grumpy, what did you think of the win?
Man, I'm glad it wasn't Tony and Mina. Nothing against them, but we've come off of several years of Tony Storm title reign. It's good to see somebody else get the ball. I'm really happy for Harley. She obviously, Willow has always been amazing. The first time I saw Willow was the Supercard of Honor when Tony had just bought Ring of Honor. And that was also the very first Briscoe's FTR, which was awesome. But yeah, so I've been watching Willow since then, and she's a straight up main eventer now. She's awesome. And Harley's come such a long way. She moves so fluidly in the ring, puts moves together much smoother. They both deserve it. They really deserve it, and I'm glad that they won.
James, what you think?
I have been the biggest Harley Cameron mark since I saw her on QT Me. I thought, Lord Almighty, and if you know, you know. Apparently James has a type, but just like what everybody else said, so good in character work, and then she got better in the ring as time went on. This woman just showed she's a multi-tool player, and she got the reward for it. She got to become a women's tag team champion, and I'm so freaking happy for her. And I know you're happy because your girl also Slick got a championship as well. So we're both happy that our girls got some gold, man. So I'm happy for the Babes of Wrath, and congratulations, Harley, man. There's not another woman right now that deserves it more than her right now. I think Hannibal's spot on. I think she's the Rookie of the Year this year.
Ryan, now I'm pretty sure you're happy and you love the match. I want to kind of flip the question as I go to you and Dev. What do you think is next for the Babes of Wrath?
So, in terms of what's next, it feels like it would scream to me that you would want sort of the first guys up, especially with sort of the character types we have with Harley and Willow, that it would be Megan Bain and Marina Shafir. because that's basically, let's be real, that's your top heel team. I get it that the Sisters of Sin are a little more established and that they've been teaming longer, but in terms of two women that just get it, I think it's Marina and it's Megan. And let's be real, they're probably going to lose because you don't want your inaugural champs to lose on their first defense. But that's where I see it going. And I think the big thing for me with the match was, in terms of this result, the best way to make stars is to beat stars. And while the titles, yeah, they could have benefited from Tony and Mina, with Tony adding credibility to that to the women's tag titles. If you remember, the Babes of Wrath didn't just beat Tony and Mina, but also Mercedes and Athena earlier in the tournament. So I think we have this idea here that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And I think there's something really special here with this team that I think that they can hold the titles for a good bit. I don't want to go and set out a date like how I did with Brodito, but I think we're gonna get a good little.
You're not doing that again.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And there's no shame on me here.
That's a good call out with Bane and Shafir, because Harley has unfinished business with Bane. Willow has had unfinished beef with Shafir, and they didn't meet in the tournament because they were on opposite sides of the bracket. So that's a really great call out for a first feud.
Yep. And there is the Penelope Ford factor as well. I'm curious on where TJ is going to fit in on this, because remember, before Harley also teamed up with Willow, she teamed up with Tay Conti while Anna Jay was out. So there's a lot of moving parts in this tag team division, which is why I really love how they built it up.
It seems like we got to see what happens with Anna Jay, because it may just be Tay.
Oh, why did you get injured too?
Well, no, because the word around is that her contract is up soon. And
oh, really?
Yeah, we don't really know where she'll land. Who knows? That's the word going around. But
if we're a fifth.
But hey, put Tay back in the singles division. That's fine with me. Put the TBS strap on her. I'm good with that.
It's a potential future.
She's my champion number 2. Hey, Mello.
Dev, what do you think is next for the Babes of Wrath?
I think mentioning Athena was a really good focal point, because I think they take the titles across the brands and go to ROH, Ring of Honor, to challenge somebody. Who I had in mind was Athena and Billy Starks, because we saw Athena mending the dynamic that those two had, maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago. You guys may have seen her and Billy Starks have a segment. I think that can be a match or 2, And I like the dynamic between those 4.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I just hope that, and we mentioned this earlier on the earlier show. I just hope that they're not placeholders for Timeless Love Bombs just to get a rematch at the next pay-per-view and then drop it to them. I hope. I don't think that Tony would do something like that, but he's also done things that a lot of people probably wouldn't do. So I hope so. But also on last night's show, we kind of had a little bit of an upset in the C2 with Speedball Mike Bailey pinning and defeating the Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, in what I would say is up there for match of the year contender. Very, very good match. Very fun. That crowd was so into that match. That crowd really made the match for me. Made it that much more exciting. I love the outcome. I think this is what the C2 is for. Where you're able to kind of give a credible win to somebody who needs it or is looking for it. I'm loving the C2 as it's panning out right now. We're getting really fun, good matches. There's this kind of there's a few stories going along with, the Death Riders and their involvement in the C2, and then we have the story of Okada being the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. Then of course Takeshita being Takeshita. He just won a tournament himself. So I'm just interested to see how your guys' thoughts on the C2 thus far, especially from last night. Ryan, I want to start with you.
So I think this match, while I didn't get to see it, the result and sort of seeing the reaction to it sort of brought this idea back to my head that the C2 is a great way to elevate people. Where if looking back on the C2 throughout the past few years, the only person, and correct me if I'm wrong, to go winless in the Continental Classic is Jay Lethal. And I think, giving this kind of win to Speedball, giving this, kind of win to Kevin Knight over Darby, right? It allows people to invest in them more. Like when you beat someone credible like a Kyle Fletcher or a Darby Allin, where if you remember when Speedball was brought in, he was touted as, one of the big free agent signings, Speedball, Mike Bailey's All Elite, the Graphic, the whole nine. This match, I think, helped people remind, themselves of that. And I think whether they continue as Jet Speed or what I hope, where they break off into singles, I think the future is bright for both Speedball and Kevin Knight.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely gonna see them kind of come to a head and see how that matchup works. I'm excited for it. I think Kevin Knight will be the break. So far, I would say he's had the kind of breakout performance of the C2, like in ring wise, like what he was doing against Dark. That was fun. That was a really good match. Again, I'm loving the C2 so far. Grumpy, what are your thoughts on the C2 so far?
I love the C2. The beauty of it is that the field is big enough and you have enough matches that you can spread some wins around. So Fletcher, last year, he finished with 12 points. This year, part of his promo was that he wanted to go perfect and finish with 15 points. Well, maybe that cockiness cost him a little bit. Maybe he took his eye off the now and he was looking too far ahead. So there's lots of ways you can tell stories within this tournament. Lots of different ways you can tell stories within this tournament. And, you take your eye off the ball against a dangerous opponent. Now you can't go 15.
It was a classic trap game.
Exactly. So I'm happy for Speedball getting that win. This comes off of Mascara Dorada getting a big upset over Claudio. So there's surprises to be had in this tournament. You can't just pick a winner and then coast, right? Like I said last night in our post-Dynamite space, this company is impossible to fantasy book because they will swerve you, no pun intended, which is what makes it great. You can't miss a minute. You can't miss an episode. And don't be looking forward to who's going to return at All In 2026. No, man, we're in the middle of a great tournament right now.
AEW should hire you for the promotional team.
Honestly, low key, that's a really good point.
Tony Khan's ears, man.
I love the way you put that. That's really, really good. Hannibal, tell me what you think, or what are your feelings on the C2 thus far?
I mean, if anyone was listening to Light the Fuse yesterday, they'd have known that this wasn't a shock. There was a few people that thought Mike Bailey could win this one, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens because, I've enjoyed Jet Speed, but they are in a position now. Do they continue when this tournament is over, or do they, go their separate ways and have a little bit of a singles run? I don't see Speedball as being like a world champion, but I could definitely see him being like a TNT champion or something like that. As to the tournament, I think it's been really exciting. I think the matches, more importantly, the matches have been like fantastic. I can't think of a duff match. Obviously some stand out more than others, but there's been some great matches. But that Cole Fletcher match against Speedball Mike Bailey was just, as others have said, like one of the best TV matches of the year, and will definitely be like a match of the year contender. Just so entertaining, and also as well, I loved the finish because you did have that minute countdown. You thought it was going to end in a draw, but not only that, it was the way. I've never seen somebody pin somebody like that.
Yeah.
So as soon as he got the legs on his legs, I was like, he's getting a win. Until that point, I thought he was kicking out.
What I really loved about the minute countdown was that, if you guys remember, there in the past two Continental Classics, there's been at least one draw in each. Thus far, we haven't had any draws, and so we were kind of conditioned to another C2 draw. This is going to happen again, and they kind of shock and surprise us. Like,
and Jordan, you know what the great thing is?
What's up?
This is not the only time that they've done that in this C2.
No, it's not.
No.
And that's what I love about it. It's that the idea is what you saw in last year's C2 will not be what you see in this year's. The vibes will always be different. Things will always be different. And I really, really enjoy that it brings, like Grumpy said, you can't just pick somebody and coast. This isn't like, your sports where you're going to pick the top team and the top team is probably going to, show up. This is one of those, obviously it's predetermined, but that's the great part about it. It's so predetermined that, you think it's predictable and it's not. Like it's this is really, really good work. But to kind of move forward, I don't want to keep talking about the C2 because, I want to be careful with our time here. So I'm going to move on and I'm going to start off with James on this one. We had Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston in a pretty damn good match. But what you asked me, I think it was a better, there was a better after the match was better than the actual match.
Yep.
That's what I personally think. But tell me what did you think about the Samoa Joe Eddie Kingston match?
I thought it was great. I thought they were hitting hard. They were kicking ass, taking names, as we were to expect with these two. This is a great comeback match for Kingston. I think he's definitely put the spotlight back on him in a positive way. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought that him and Joe had a really good match. But yeah, I mean, everybody talked about the Cena tribute. Him doing the attitude adjustment into the STF was a really nice tribute. I thought that was really, really cool. Little fun fact for people who don't know, their friendship goes back a ways. They were in UPW in California when Cena was coming up in the beginning. So just to see him kind of give a salute to his roots, if you will, I think that's really, really dope. So yeah, great match, great little tribute. Overall, had a great time with Dynamite, and yeah, there's a lot of story with what's going on Dynamite right now, despite what people may try to make you believe. And I love me some story, and I love me some good wrestling. So,
Dev, what did you as we're kind of wrapping up our Dynamite talk here, what did you think of the main event, the Eddie Kingston Joe match?
It was really nice to see Eddie get his second win like in this fashion. And I can't wait for Hook's position to propel from here so I can see the internet get so angry. Super level crash outs over Hook. It's a good time. It's a good time.
I can't wait for Hook.
I love Hook. Hey, real Hook is over here.
Real Hook over here. Me too. I hear it. Let's go.
Hook. Yeah.
Let me get my chips.
Now.
So overall, though, I would say it's a good Dynamite. I would say 7 out of 10 show for me personally. Just good in-ring action. It was really fun to watch. Again, some good upsets in the C2. Once again, if you missed it, we had the Babes of Wrath win the inaugural tag team titles. We also had Swerve and Hangman team up. That was a really cool thing. And then obviously we had Joe defending against Eddie Kingston, which was I loved that match. Anytime you get Eddie in the ring, I'm for it. But as
can I ask what kept it from an 8 or a 9? You don't mind?
What kind of sales question is that?
No. I like it. So for me, an 8 or a 9 show, I kind of reserve those for pay-per-views. Right? I feel like the best a weekly show can ever be is a 7. Right? 1, because of length of time, amount of matches, and then what you're not gonna pull off when Kenny wrestles on TV. It's different than how he wrestles on pay-per-view. Kyle Fletcher, it's a great example of that.
Basically what you're saying is that on your weekly show scale, this would be a 10 out of 10. This is the home run, knocked it out of the park on your weekly shows.
On a weekly, but just judging it overall as a product, I would say it's a 7. But as a weekly show, if we're going, judging it by other Dynamites or other weekly wrestling shows, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. You got everything that you would want. Good promos, good in-ring and out-of-ring promos, good matches. People got put over like it's what you would want in a wrestling match, you know.
For
But
people that complain about the Meltzer star rating system, if you just heard what Jordan said there, it just goes to show everyone's got weird rating systems. The fact that you cap a show at 7
I'm gonna go complain
is
about his
amazing.
rating system online.
Yes, please
And
do.
I'm gonna
and
start
tag
a
me.
hashtag now, chat. We're gonna get him canceled.
Well, no, you got to make a fake
Dare you
dummy
rate?
account of me because that's what they do. How many dumb Meltzer accounts or stuff like that do you see? Or Meltzer said what? Yeah, that's your one and only shout out.
There you go.
So yeah. But good show overall. I'm glad that we could agree on that. Or somewhat agree. As we transition, before we do, I just want to remind you guys that we are the Wrestle Collective. We are a group of normal fans who have just come together to talk wrestling and to end tribalism, one conversation at a time. We're normal fans just like you, and that's what makes us important. That's what makes these conversations important. There's no need for tribalism in this fake world of wrestling. So just to keep in mind, we are the Wrestle Collective. We go live every week on Thursdays, 5:30 Central, right here on this YouTube channel is where you'll find us. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. So, fellas, the last time is now. I think all of us are somewhat old enough to have seen John Cena's career in its entirety. I particularly have seen it from start to now to finish.
Some weren't even born. Some weren't even born.
Some of us in here weren't even born yet, right? So as we are going to talk about the final match and the retirement tour and whatnot, I want to know just you guys' offshoot thoughts about John Cena, just off the top. So, Grumpy, you in particular, I want to start with you because your fandom is very different, and how you've watched and stopped watching wrestling from time to time. So what are your thoughts just off the cuff of John Cena?
So I took a big wrestling break right at the end of the Attitude Era up until basically right before the start of AEW. I missed the entire Ruthless Aggression era completely. So I know of John Cena's time then. I have watched a couple of matches, but like his run, his presence on the roster, his presence in the company, I would be clueless. But I mean, I like the guy. The matches I have watched are fun. He's always physical. I love him as an actor. He seems like a good guy. I don't know what I'm supposed to really say.
He's great in Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah. Peacemaker is the best superhero show that has been put on. But I mean, I kind of wish I had been around for it because I also missed, everything Punk from those days. I missed a lot. I missed Eddie Guerrero. I missed Batista, which is a shame, and I kind of regret it. But it's a little late for me to jump on the Cena bandwagon now.
We gave you a few matches.
Did you watch WCW? You would have been able to see Eddie there.
Yeah, I did. I watched WCW.
Did you happen to watch a couple of the matches that we suggested to you?
You guys gave me homework, and I watched the matches. I was able to find a couple of them online. The Cena Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 23 match was awesome, and that's an example of what WWE can put on in the ring when they want to, and it was just incredible. Like the back and forth, the transitions, the counters, I didn't know that they were tag partners at the time. The commentators made a point to point that out, that they're tag team champions, actually, who find themselves at odds over the world title. That was a great story. That match was awesome. So, yeah, it kind of makes me regret that I missed probably a lot more stuff. And a couple of the other matches that I watched were great, too, but that one stood out as my favorite.
What were the other 2 matches, if you don't mind me asking?
I watched the JBL I Quit match, and
Fantastic.
yeah, that was good.
I love that.
And then an Orton match. I forget where it was from.
Breaking
but,
Point 09.
Yes,
That
that
was the one I recommended. That was the one I particularly recommended.
good. Also, I can't say I'm a big Orton fan though, but that just it is what it is. But I mean, great match. But the WrestleMania one, the Shawn Michaels one, was incredible.
Totally valid.
I'll go to you, James. What are your just quick thoughts on John Cena? You like him? Don't like him?
Oh man, I love him. I'm the biggest Cena mark here. One of my DVDs actually in my backdrop. It's not a magazine stand advocate. How dare you? That one of them is the John Cena Experience, and like I was already a big Cena fan before when I was young, but when you actually watch that documentary, it really shows how much he, valued that company and how he was like the guy for that company. And there was no better spokesperson. Like, nobody's perfect, right? Like, Lord knows Cena's had his ups and downs, but he's definitely like the best representative as far as face of the companies go. Because, Hogan, not exactly squeaky clean. Austin, I love Austin. We know there. Cena really, really like cared for the company, but then like progressively got better. And he was rushed to a point where he was not ready for it. And I think even as a Cena fan, you can admit he was not ready for that spotlight at the time he was given the spotlight. But man, as he got better, you couldn't deny it. I've
been on my Cena stuff all day, y'all. Like, oh man, you can't see my phone because I've been listening to the You Can't See Me, which by the way, if you want to know what the best song on that is, I'm gonna go Bad Man.
Bad Man is good.
People wanted that to be his heel theme earlier in the year.
It should have been. It's a great song.
Don't F with John Cena. I'm a bad dude. If he came out to that, I would have absolutely lost.
I'm gonna tell you my quick thoughts on John. I remember so much about John, man. I remember the ruthless aggression. I remember Dr. Thugonomics. I remember the transition from jerseys to T-shirts. I remember it all, and I can't say I've always been the biggest fan of John Cena, the wrestler, but I've always been a fan of John Cena, the person. If you just learned or heard anything about him, he learned Cantonese because they were going overseas.
Mandarin,
excuse me. But he also learned Cantonese too.
Being chilling.
John, the guy, when you learn about him, especially in those early years, how much he loved the product. And that's just all you could really ask out of your top guy is to believe and love the product as much as a fan does. And that's what he did. And, a lot of the booking decisions, growing up, I didn't like them. We'll talk about it quickly, but, I like John, and it's going to be, the wrestling world is going to be different without him.
Dude.
Not Grumpy, already went to you. Ryan, tell me your quick thoughts on John Cena, and then we'll go to Dev.
So I came into my, wrestling fandom and John Cena in 2010. When John Cena already had done the Doctor of Thugonomics, already did the T-shirts, and this was peak Super Cena. This was the peak of Cena wins LOL. And as like a kid for a couple years, I didn't know what everyone else thought of Cena. I didn't hear the polarizing reactions yet that let's go Cena sucks. And then around 2013, the stuff with The Rock, 2012, that's when I kind of smartened up a little bit. And it was really hard for me to truly appreciate Cena in his work. I would say until he had went part-time in like 2017, 2018, after looking at some of his earlier work, especially like that match he had with Umaga at New Year's Revolution, to sort of truly appreciate him as a wrestler. And, it sucks that we're seeing him retire, but at least he's going out when he can still go out. And it's not like an Undertaker where he keeps chasing the dragon for a good match, for 5 years. So, and I think with this match with Gunther, I brought up Cena versus Umaga. This might be the closest thing we get to it.
That's Cena. Oh man, how did we forget Cena versus Umaga when recommending matches to Grumpy? I completely
because
forgot how great
that's
that match was.
because later when we talk later in matches that Cena should have lost,
Yeah, that's fair.
that's one of them.
That is one of them.
one
You're
of
not
them.
wrong.
Hannibal, you like myself were kind of the elder statesman here in the collective. So you got to see John Cena's entire career just like I have. So what do you think about him, man?
Man, I wish he went to death first. I remember the debut, clear as day. Like when he came out and faced Angle, and he started the ruthless aggression era. It was something. You knew that he was probably going to be a top guy. And I was saying this last night that I don't think anyone's had a run at the top in the modern era like Cena has. The only people I could think of were people like Bruno, and that was, I don't consider that a modern era. That's pre-Vince. He's never been my favorite wrestler. I appreciate he means a lot to a lot of people, and I think that's great. I've just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean it's not other people's, and I like that. The man, not a massive fan. I'll be honest. I think the work he's done for Make-A-Wish is incredible. I think hasn't he got like the Guinness World Record? Right,
of all time.
Yeah, very generous with his time. When I hear him being interviewed, not a big fan. Has some very weird views. Loves Vince like a second father.
He's a if I'm an A-type person, he is before, like, I've never seen someone so just anal the way he is. Yeah,
he's A squared.
Yeah, he's A squared. But like he does have some weird philosophies on life. I will say that. From going to, I don't want to be married, to as soon as you leave that relationship, you get married. Whatever.
Yeah,
Cena's infamous house rules and him being Geek Stokes, and they call him.
My favorite non-wrestling thing should be Peacemaker. It's actually John Cena's house rules from Total Divas. Cracks me up every time I see it. But no, look, the thing is, they put out a really nice video today where they had all the WWE superstars pay tribute to him, and I watched that, and it didn't get me emotional. But I know that's going to mean a lot for a lot of people. And that's the thing. Like, I think, to what Graps is saying, the fact that he's able to have this retirement run, didn't have the run that he wanted, but at least he's been able to do, some of the things that he wanted to do. I think that's a tribute to the man. And there's going to be a lot of the Cena Nation on Sunday waking up, wondering what a post-WWE world without Cena looks like. And for those people, I feel very sorry. I hope you enjoy the show on Saturday. But yeah, I'm very conflicted.
Dev, quickly, what do you think about Jonathan Cena?
Well, it's really important to note how crucial the jam session me and Grumpy had earlier through his debut album. We had a blast.
It's great, ain't it? It's good.
It was life-changing, he told me. We'll get back to it soon on a different time. And I think he's the second coolest wrestler ever, right behind Stone Cold. John Cena as a person, he's fine. I like his acting. He's the coolest.
I knew there was a weird Dev take in here somewhere.
There's always a weird, unserious Dev strikes again.
Let him cook. Listen. Let him cook.
No.
Cena's been a lot of things, but cool is not one of them.
Yeah. Listen, Dev's fine. Everything's fine.
Actually, I'll defend. No, you know what? Dev, I'll give you one thing about Cena.
He was the coolest rapper of that whole era.
No, the coolest thing Cena, if you want to say Cena did something cool, it was how he took his t-shirts off. Ain't no one take their t-shirt off like John Cena.
Yeah.
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he,
from
he
the
is kind of
sleeve?
different with
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's something wild about that, how he does that. I can't tell you how many times when I was younger tried to, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I was gonna pull it out, but it's a little beat up. I do, however, own the spinner belt.
That's cool. That's a cool belt. The
No,
thugonomics
pull
was
it out.
cool.
It's a little beat up. That's battle damage.
I think I gotta dig it. It's deep in my closet because it's not one of the. It's not a replica. It's one that you get like at a show that's plastic, but still spins and looks good. But yes, I do own a spinner belt, and I own the current heavyweight title too. It's not a replica, but to start my belt collection. But no, I would say that is probably the coolest
His
thing.
theme songs was cool. The fact that he rapped his songs was cool. He was cool.
So as we go on, hopefully, I think you have this image because we all talked about it. Ruthless Aggression, the debut of John Cena, and how that smirk, that smile, that headbutt changed the trajectory of his career and SmackDown as a whole. Because
I mean, look at that mop of hair, right? And yet he still looks tough as nails, even with that weird thing on his head.
Like, looks like he's biting his bottom lip.
Like that image right there is like, dog, we missed out on a great heel. I don't care what nobody says. Look at it, like that's a heel right there. That is a heel. We missed out on a great heel. We're gonna definitely talk about the heel turn. But
you know what's crazy?
I want to talk about
floundered after this for a little.
That's exactly what I want to talk about. Funny enough, I want to talk about how this made such an impact, but he didn't really get going for another couple of months.
He was Caucasian Action Andretti.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
You know, he didn't get going for a couple of months. So I do want to just quickly pause here, and I want to go to you specifically, Graps, because you are the one who was born after this. So did you ever go back retroactively and see some of the young Cena?
Is the sky blue? Yeah. So I didn't look a lot at prototype Cena, right? Because this is what this is. This is a continuation of the prototype, except with even less character and just I'm a big buff man. I checked out a lot of like 05, some of the stuff from 04, you know, like that late Dr. Thugonomics leading into, you know, the babyface run, you know, like a little before Super Cena, you know, sort of that almost out of his depth after getting moved over to Raw, you know, that type of deal. And I thought it was because once again, I was introduced to 2010 Cena, and seeing this stuff was such a contrast, not necessarily in terms of character, but in terms of the way he worked, right? Like the matches felt a lot more compelling. And one of the things I also looked back and saw was there was a video of Cena going through his tape library.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that John Anthony Phoenix Cena III or Felix Cena III would own Satoru Sayama Tiger Mask tapes?
You know, he's a student of the game.
Exactly.
You know, he's always, and that's why I said
but it's
earlier,
like when you see the way he works and the way that he approaches matches and you see his stuff, it almost couldn't be different.
They also used to make fun of talents for being marks. Like if talents back then that liked wrestling, they would get bullied.
Yeah.
Like Beth Phoenix says something like that. And I think that has a lot to do.
Oh my God, look at him watching wrestling. Oh, what? My wrestling match is next? Like what?
Right.
Like
Especially
you know what that's kind of
Japan,
like?
He
like
been
imagine if you played football and you got bullied for being a fan of football. Like, oh, you're watching tape on TJ Watt being a 7 tech? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like how dare you study, you know? But
how dare you try to be good with wrestling?
Job.
Like
it's an insecure industry. That's why.
It's kind of weird though, because for somebody who clearly loved wrestling as much as he did, I mean, look, one thing that I will say about Cena, and it's both like a compliment and a condemnation at the same time, is the fact that he was there for so long, right? He was in that company from his debut to the end of his career. He didn't try and do the indies. He didn't try and go to TNA or Ring of Honor. He stuck to his thing. But that's even weirder to me for somebody that enjoyed wrestling as much as he did, because he only really got to wrestle a certain style. And you would have thought that if he loved wrestling as much as he did, at some point he would have liked to have at least tried to do something else. But he was so loyal to the company, and I think for a long time he put off Hollywood, right? Because he felt that he had to be there for the company. I think he got so in love with being the man that had that responsibility on his shoulders, he just didn't want to do anything else. So it's kind of sad
And you know
that
what it
he.
probably was also, Hannibal? Is that, even, with sort of his loyalty factor, if he wanted to leave and wanted to maintain a similar level of pay, he wouldn't be able to. There was no other game in town where he could make the money that he would make and still wrestle the way he did, right?
Sure.
Because that TNA only had so much money. Kurt Angle was already over there. They were bringing in other legends. They probably wouldn't have had room financially to bring in Cena without bankrupting the company.
No, but also, I mean, number one, Kurt Angle wasn't paid by TNA; he was paid by Spike. But also, as well, he would only have had to have gone away for a couple of years. I mean, look at Cody. Cody left; he had the money on the table, went into the Indies, went to Japan, went, helped start AEW, and come back, because at the end of the day,
But he was away for 7 years from
right.
that
But
promotion.
I know that's a longer example. But what I'm saying is that you still could have gone away and gone, you know what, I just want to dip my toes in a few other pools.
Sort of like an Eddie Guerrero Ring of Honor run.
Right. Just take a year or two and they'd have had him back. So he wouldn't have lost his spot.
No. The thing with Cena too, and this is what I realized, is he was so stressed around that time as well, because he put so much of that on himself, to his own detriment. And it wasn't until Punk came in and they had their feud that Cena started really calming down, because it's finally I'm not the only guy that can carry this anymore.
So before we get there, I do want to talk about another, monumental part of his career, and that is the Doctor of Thugonomics era of John Cena.
So cool.
That was cool. That's a good one. What feud was that? The Undertaker feud?
Yeah, that was the Undertaker.
He's in the grave.
I remember that.
I believe that's his parents, kayfabe parents' grave. By the way, that was implied.
The Doctor of Thugonomics Cena, honestly,
I can't believe you guys didn't recommend this for me to watch. I would have watched the shit out of this. This looks amazing.
Hold on. The match itself was bad.
No, yeah. The gimmick was awesome.
Grumpy. Remember, he wrestled The Undertaker.
And this is why I'm glad that Grumpy, and why I wanted you specifically on to kind of, like I said, reach one, teach one, because you're not. The Doctor of Thugonomics was better outside of the ring than in the ring, because there was a real live rap battle between Big Show and John Cena. Yes. Entertaining, but we didn't need it. It was dumb, right? Let's see.
Funny though. My timeline is all screwed up, because I can't look at today's Cena and think of him doing that. I would have had to see it in the moment.
That's the thing about it. It felt so organic, right?
Yeah.
Like other times, let's be honest, let's just rip the Band-Aid off, and I'll just go ahead and say it. Whenever they put the urban gimmick on the white boy, it never really works. But for this one, it organically worked, because that's John.
Yeah.
He wasn't putting on no front. That's him. That's how he dressed. That's how he talked. He really could rap. That was him. And so it worked.
Because I remember there was one of the entrances he was doing, because he was I think there was a little bit where he was rapping in his entrance. And this one, I saw a clip, I think it was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Fred, I don't remember whether it was from Velocity or SmackDown or whatever. And It was just a clip from his entrance where he's like, "You hate me, you hate me because I'm white. That's reverse discrimination. I hate you for 2 words, illegal immigration." I'm just like, huh?
That was insane. Yeah, I remember that. I'll give you another one. It was a Heat episode, and it was like right before he's about to go in, and obviously it was a plan.
No slurs, James.
I think it was Kenny Dykstra, but like he battle rapped, like he battle rapped this fan, and it was insane. Like,
Oh
this
yeah, no,
dude
that was
could
nuts.
have been in legitimate battle raps. He was that good. He was that talented. Like,
You also got to remember as well, though, that this was what saved him.
Uh-huh.
100.
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
he was on the verge, and how close it was we don't know, but he says, he thought he was on the verge of
He
being
was on the
fired
cut list.
because
He found out he was on the actual cut list.
right
for the
because
next round of
because
roses.
he was just floundering, and it was Stephanie hearing him rapping on the bus that turned around and said maybe like you should try and do that, and it just turned his life around.
It really did. It turned his career around, and it turned the trajectory of SmackDown around in its entirety. So the Dr. Thummock era, that's something that definitely had to be brought up. This was great. Like you said, it saved his career. It really, put him on the map, and it then transitioned to him becoming a champion, which then bred the LOL Cena wins, which is the
Cena
Golden
wins.
Shovel area. And I kind of want to take a pit stop here in the Golden Shovel era because, as much as we love John, he snuck it in there. As much as we love John, as much as we love John, and as great as he was, he was champion for a long time, and he it was good, it was great. But there were some times where he probably should have lost. And I think that kind of comes with the woes of being on top sometimes. And for the company, they put all their eggs in the Cena basket. So they didn't really have, someone else. God, look at Ryback back there. They didn't really kind of have anybody else. Yeah, they didn't really have anybody else to go to. And so it was, for a long time, it was LOL Cena wins. So I do want to make a little quick pit stop. I want to go to you guys on this one, on some matches that you thought Cena should have lost. And I want to definitely talk about right here, we have on the screen, the Nexus. If you guys don't know, if you guys don't remember, the Nexus were built as this just mean group. It was this gang mentality. They did something which was different. They, instead of just coming out from the back, they would come out, they would surround you. Okay, now they got you surrounded. Then they would come up on the apron and then attack. Like, it was all like this coordinated attack like wolves. And for weeks, they were beating the dog mess out of John Cena and the rest of the locker room, right? To the point to where John had to link up with his enemy and Edge to try to take them out. All for the, and again, they're looking strong. John Cena, if I believe, in this very match, takes a DDT to the
on the outside,
floor.
In the concrete.
They took the mats off. He took a DDT, which would have that Pillmanized anybody else, but yet he mustered on to win this match. So I want to go to you guys, talk about kind of this Golden Shovel era. How did it make you feel watching it? What are some of the matches you thought he should have lost? And Dev, I'll start with you. What did you think about the Golden Shovel era?
I think I had fatigue just like everybody else, but I still liked him and his matches and his cadence. I was always a fan, but I was ready to cut back, So one match in particular was his match with Mysterio, like that last second title match for Rey Mysterio's new WWE World Title. Somebody should have cheated, some type of shenanigans that they tend to do could have worked out in Mysterio's favor.
Yep.
And he could have a pinfall over Cena.
Dev, I have a question
up.
for you. How did you
What's
feel when you saw this image? Hold on, not this one. Hold on, my apologies. StreamYard is. this image.
I was excited. I like both. Those are like both of my heroes.
Are you sure? Because you just brought up the whole Cena Mysterio thing
Yeah,
Mhm.
with Ray winning the belt, and then
this
it's
was that night.
backstage.
This was that night, and
It
when Cena
infuriated me.
came out, I'll never forget this because he won, and literally, this is a great image because they're congratulating Ray.
Mhm.
They're literally like he just won. Oh man, I just got this title. Whew, let me unstrap the mask. Oh man, and then here comes John Cena.
Fine speech.
Later tonight, kid. Like what?
Yeah, man. Like, okay, I'm a Ray Mark. I love Cena. I love both of them. This infuriated me the way they did this. I was there. I was watching live when this happened. I watched everything from the Nexus onwards up to this point. I was so annoyed that they went back to the status quo the way they did it that I didn't hate Cena at this point. I hated the direction of the Cena character. I at that point I really understood what Punk meant in his pipe bomb, and I realized, man, the creative is awful. Like that was a shoot. Everything Punk said, that was a shoot. This is a prime example of it. And what's so sad is imagine if you kept the belt on Mysterio and it was Mysterio and Punk at SummerSlam that year.
Wouldn't have sold as many tickets.
It wouldn't have, but at the same time, it's like, come on.
Do you know anything that upsets me the most about this picture?
What?
It's the WWE Live logo being where it is.
Yeah, they didn't square that up.
It is really annoying me.
Yeah.
I forgot they used to have the logo like in a weird place.
Be under where the WWHD logo is on the bottom.
So Grumpy,
it's like a third of the way.
Grumpy, I'll tell you because again, you're not familiar. There was a time right after the Dr. Thugonomics era. I like to call it the T-shirt era, or the Golden Shovel era,
the Fruity Pebbles era.
When he first started introducing the Never Give Up shirts, and that's when the company got really, really behind him. If you thought Mercedes wins a lot, good
bro.
Well, it wasn't just him winning. Like I said, Grump, it would be the conditions of which he won. Right?
So, okay, explain this. Okay, so it sounds like Ray won the title early in the show, and then
it was the culmination of the tournament.
Yes.
Okay, and then Cena comes out and says, "I'm next," and beats him later in the same show.
Beats him later in the same show. Just this is how overbooked that show was. Just for CM Punk to return and then show up with his title.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because this was after Money in the Bank, where Cena loses to Punk.
Yeah, Cena loses to Punk. Then 2 weeks later, because remember Punk walked out. Fucking hate that angle now. And so they had this tournament, and again, this all happened. And this John Cena lost the title, got it back, and then challenged again for the same title, all in the span of 2 weeks.
So this was Lol Reigns wins before Reigns.
Yes.
Well, no.
To a different degree.
The different degree, because like I said, it would be the circumstances of which Cena would win. He would get beat to hell in matches, right? It's like, oh, there's no way he can come back or recover from that. There's no way. And yet
they treated him like he was Superman.
He would win.
Nexus was one example. Brock Lesnar was another example where the first match Brock had with him, and he beats him to piss, like he's bleeding buckets.
The Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, and then he just wins. And then there was another one with Umaga we mentioned, and he was getting beaten to piss there, and he still won.
And he still
Superman.
Wasn't that re-debut of Brock? Wasn't that where he gave him like 15 suplexes or something?
Yes.
No,
like it's where Suplex City come,
you're thinking SummerSlam 2014.
This match. I mean, again, Cena should have lost this match. And I understand why you put him on top, right? He sells, he moves merch. I get it, I understand it, but it was I don't know, man. It was to
Hey,
me
who's
just
Discord going on?
yeah, no, that was me. I'm sorry. But I just thought it was just so crazy that no matter what Cena would go through in the match, he would win. So no, I want to Ryan. Again, this is your peak of watching. So how did you?
Because this was 07?
Yeah.
I came in 3 years after 2010. This was a match I watched retroactively.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Damn,
Well,
you young, bro. You make me feel like I'm old. Fucking hell.
yeah, but this was not the best era of Cena to me.
No.
But after this, he kind of transitioned into kind of a semi-part-time role of which we kind of have him now.
Well, there was a little thing before that, before he went semi-part-time. And this was arguably what you could say was the best of John Cena. You remember the U.S. Open Challenge?
Was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. The U.S. Open Challenge. Yeah, that was a good era because he was trying his best to elevate a mid-card title. And so it was nice to see John Cena, this guy that's at the top of the card, care so much about a mid-card title. Again, Grumpy, this would be like the equivalent of Kenny Omega going for the TNT title
and doing the best work of his career.
And then doing seriously, he would go out there weekly and have banger matches, and you would be like, where was this John Cena?
Imagine Kenny Omega just trying shit.
Who was the champ at the time? Who was the heavyweight champ?
Brock.
It would have been
because
Brock then
came,
Rollins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Rollins too, because it culminated in Cena versus Rollins title for title at SummerSlam. That was a good match with a dog shit finish.
Oh yeah, John Stewart.
Yes,
yeah.
That was
John Stewart.
Do you know John Stewart from The Daily Show?
Yes. Don't tell me he was involved.
Yes, he was. Yes,
the deciding factor in the finish. He hit John Cena with a chair to the stomach, allowing Rollins to pin Cena because John Stewart did not want to see John Cena break Ric Flair's kayfabe 16 world title.
That was the reason. Now, to be fair to Stewart,
that's a good reason.
I will give him some praise here. He did not pull punches with his chair shot. He hit him hard with it. I'll give him that, but never should have happened.
He hit him he had his hand over the top of the chair, hit him in the stomach. So
hey, he still hit him hard. I'll give him credit. I said I'm not going to give him full credit. I'll give him some.
So John Cena is involved in the two worst celebrity involved matches of all time.
Mm-hmm.
John Stewart and Travis Scott.
Yeah, he has that. That's how great John is. He's at the highest highs and lowest lows.
Well, he did win the title back. He eventually won the U.S. title. I know where it culminated. I remember when Zeb Coulter, who you Grumpy would know as Dutch Mantel, came out on a little scooter doing, continuing his whole We the People gimmick he had with Jack Swagger and aligned himself with Alberto Del Rio.
And Rusev, right?
No. League of Nations came after.
Okay. Yeah.
Which League of Nations is up there for one of the worst.
Yeah, they just took an idea from a previous 2K game.
This is hilarious because you guys are describing
it much worse.
Peaks of awesomeness separated by valleys of bullshit.
And valleys of ass, John Cena's career. I'm being objectively honest. If you are a fan and you like the graps, John Cena's career is the highest of highs.
And then it's valleys of hook.
Hey, chill out. Chill out. And that's to anybody who says we always agree. Chill out. That's his career. It's such a, and that's why I wanted to do this retrospective, and talk about, his career and some of these highlights and big moments. And as we transition, I do want to quickly kind of get into another thing with John Cena. And before we get into the end, which is going to be our favorites, I do want to start thinking about some of your favorite matches. I do want to talk about John Cena's retirement tour and the idea of a retirement tour. John Cena is one of the very few that has been able to call his shot. You know, not a lot of wrestlers get to say, this is when I'm retiring. This is going to be my last match. Obviously, things didn't go probably the way that we all thought or wanted, you know, with the Travis Scott and Rock involvement with the heel turn. So let's start there with the heel turn and this retirement tour. Hannibal, I'll go to you, Dad. Oh no, Hannibal, yeah. I'll start off with you. What did you think about the retirement tour itself and the heel turn?
The retirement tour has been an absolute car crash. The heel turn was fantastic. I called it. I did call it because I couldn't work out why he would still be in the ring. And I just went, I think he was going to turn heel because he wasn't leaving and there was no reason for him to be there unless he was going to do something else. So I didn't see it as shocking as other people did, but it was a great visual and it left me wondering what's next. As it turned out, and has now been, actually confirmed by Cena, they didn't know what was next, and that's part of the problem. They wanted to do something that was going to get people talking, and they did. What they didn't do was think how they can actually finish, follow this up, and it's been a mess. I'm glad they retconned it. The fact that they just on a random SmackDown decided,
Yeah.
forget all that, I'm good again now, was annoying. But that's not his fault. I'm not holding him responsible for that. I wish he'd had a better run, like how Sting had his last, year or so in AEW. I wish they'd done something more like that. But if he walks away happy, I'm happy for him. I just wish that the heel turn had gone better than it actually, did.
James, I keep going to people taking a drink. I'm sorry, James.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
What are your thoughts on the heel turn and the retirement tour as a whole?
I'm with a lot of other people, man. I think they really bungled the actual heel run up, and it's really screwed up the retirement run. So much so that Cena had to basically demand a match with Styles by posting it on social media. And had he not posted it on social media, I don't think we get that match. I stand by that. That's just my opinion. Only my opinion. That's how much they bungled it. Like, so much so that even Cena, who's usually company guy all the time, had to go rogue and basically say, no, I'm doing what I want for a change. It's been bad. It's been bad. I mean, literally for me, other than the Cena Styles match, nothing to write home about for me. And that sucks because I'm a huge Cena fan, but they've really screwed this up. Like, great heel turn, terrible execution after the fact, and blame whoever you want for it. But I don't blame Cena. Cena did a job, and he did it to the best of his ability. So.
Nick Khan blamed Triple H. Threw him right under the bus.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Nick, yeah, I did see that. He
picked up Cena's old golden shovel
and buried him. Yeah, like he mentioned that, and I agree. I agree with that, but I also agree on the other side that The Rock's to blame. I think they're all just as guilty at this point.
So this is the question that I have. I mean, I know he doesn't have creative control in his contract, but if anybody has enough stroke to say, look, this is what I want to do,
it would be Cena.
It would be Cena. And
so is your question why?
A company guy, though, he's never gonna.
So this is that, but that's what happened, Grumpy.
Guy, but he's also, he's not. He's been vocal about loyalty.
Grumpy, did you hear his Chris Van Vliet interview at all?
No, but
there was an excerpt from it, Grumpy, where he talked about that little special introduction for Styles that he handed Alicia Taylor before the match, and he talked about how guilty he felt that he didn't clear it by creative and stuff beforehand.
Because
he apologized after the fact for not doing it and said that it was on him for going into business for himself.
Yep.
See, he's been vocal about the fact that he's loyal to Vince. Okay. What loyalty does he have to freaking Paul?
It's not about loyalty to Triple H. It's about loyalty to World Wrestling Entertainment.
He obviously knows better. He has a better sense of the storytelling than that guy. right? I mean, why? If he knows better,
But this is the thing, though, Grumpy. Like, what happened was the plan that they wanted for WrestleMania was they wanted Cody to turn heel. Cody told them it ain't happening.
That's what Rock wanted, I
Yeah.
think.
So when that happened, the only other thing they had was we'll turn Cena heel. Now Cena knew that Cody had decided not to turn heel. He felt that was his only option. So,
neither of them
I
had.
think he had the stroke, but also he had the loyalty to the company, right? So
It didn't. See, this is neither of them had to be heel. I mean, it could have been of the biggest star versus of the biggest star of now.
Oh, there goes the
You
mute.
muted.
I tapped the pad. It could have been the biggest star of now versus the biggest star of the past, and then Cena wins because he's going on his retirement tour. Nobody would have thought bad about it. Nobody would have thought twice about it. He can go on to the rest of the program.
I think it was the idea of, if you remember how sort of fan reception was to the build of Mania and stuff like that at that time, where it sort of needed that shot in the arm.
I guess.
Well,
I guess
if Cena had creative control, they would have just let him run with it after what The Rock booked for him, what The Rock and Gord's booked for him. They didn't, and we got what we got as a result of it. And at the end of the day, you look at how they treat Undertaker, and they don't let him get away with anything he wants to do, and he's a legend. You really think they're going to allow Cena to do whatever the heck he wants all the time? No way. No chance.
But
And,
I think
that's the problem. That's just what it is.
I guess this will be a great what if of the future. But if he had just exercised a little bit of
if he said swagger, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, what he said is that totally works for me, brother.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, as we're getting ready to close, I do want to go to Dev really quickly, and ask you specifically, as one of the diehard WWE guys.
Okay.
What did you think about the heel turn?
It's great. We got a bad retirement tour with the bonus of a heel turn. So that's the long and short of it.
I kind of bad retirement tour with the good heel turn. I kind of like that. So as we're going to close this out, guys, I do want to talk some favorites. What's your favorite Cena match? What do you think is his best match? And then what is your favorite piece of Cena merch? So for me, to kind of give you guys, a little time to think and figure that one out, my favorite Cena match is the JBL I Quit match. I think his best match, probably that Shawn Michaels match. And then I would say my favorite piece of Cena merch, and I know there's been a lot, so I know you guys are thinking, but my favorite piece of Cena merch is Ruck Fools.
Ruck Fools.
Great. It was a nice way for them to use a cuss word without using a cuss word. And
you're damn right.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was, you know what I'm saying? The chain gang, remember that? You know what I'm saying? The John Cena chain. Like, I love that whole era, as far as merch is concerned. But no, I think his best match obviously is with Shawn, which is kind of hard to have a bad match with Shawn. But my favorite match is that I Quit match with JBL. James, I want to go to you. You're the self-proclaimed Cena Mark, so I want to go to you.
Yes. I will go. This is my favorite match. Is Cena Styles Royal Rumble 2017. Excellent match, probably the best match of his entire career, my personal opinion, at least bell to bell.
So you would say that's also his best match?
I think it's his best match. Yeah, I think it's his best match outright. I think that series in general was the best Cena feud, like just because nobody ever thought that was ever going to happen in a million years, like a year ago. So the fact that we were getting it was amazing for me, especially growing up with these two as they would become their respective faces of their respective companies.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever thought that was going to happen. So Cena Styles for me, my favorite piece of Cena merch. Man, that 54 jersey, chain gang all day,
I'm
man.
telling you
Chain
that,
gang
like,
is the click, man.
that jersey was hard.
That jersey rocked, bro. That
was
jersey
hard.
rocked. I love
Yo.
that whole run. Like all the chain gang merch was like the sickest shit. And by the way, if you want something to laugh at, go watch 5 Questions with the Champ. One of the funniest internet shows WWE ever produced because it was all Cena produced, and he did not give a shit. No filter. Cena is the best Cena.
I'm gonna check that out.
It's
Ryan,
hilarious.
What is your favorite Cena match? What do you think is his best match?
My favorite Cena match, and also what I think is his best match, is the New Year's Revolution match with Umaga. I think it brought the best out of Cena, not just as a wrestler, but as a character. You know, while he didn't put Umaga over, it really still put over the threat of Umaga as a monster heel, Cena as the Superman-like babyface. And then when it comes to my favorite piece of Cena merch, it isn't actually one of his shirts, which if we're do my favorite shirt, it'd be his purple shirt from 2010, right before Mania 27. Because that was peak Super Cena when I first saw. That also was the shirt he wore when he was Juan Cena, if you remember.
Yeah. The Nexus shirt.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he still had the orange for that.
No, it was orange.
I think he had both. I think he did both.
because I remember when he had to put on the patch, he had the purple shirt on.
Yeah.
I swear to God,
but
it sounds like you're making half of these bits up just to fuck with me.
My actual Juan Cena was a thing.
Juan Cena was
not on TV.
And it's a great downloadable character in 2K25.
Yeah, but my actual favorite piece of Cena merch, because I think it's such a smart thing that they did, was where they sold the Cena armbands, but they marketed them as headbands so that the kids would wear them. Because one, great for the kids. Two, it really just puts out over how huge Cena is. Because what the fuck do you mean? Something I put on my head is something you put on your arm.
yeah. I can see what you're saying. Hannibal, what is your favorite Cena match? What do you think is his best match? Favorite year?
Favorite was his return at the Royal Rumble 2008. I had to just Google what year it was because I couldn't remember. But Royal Rumble matches generally aren't really good. But when he reappeared, no one was expecting him to reappear. He was supposed to be out for almost a year with, I think it was like rotator cuff injury or something.
Torn rotator cuff.
Right, but no one was expecting him back before SummerSlam, and then bam, Madison Square Garden, Royal Rumble number 30.
Which
just amazing
at that
moment.
point was a smart crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one knew. His best match. His best match is probably the one against JBL. So people have said it before. As for merchandise, I did really like when he repurposed the WWE logo. So it was like the first time that we got kind of like retro merchandise. He used to have like a trucker hat with just the
block logo.
Yeah, the old like 80s block logo, but obviously without the F. But I thought that was the first time I'd seen them do something like that, and I thought it was quite a clever way of doing it. So yeah, I like that stuff.
It's a good call. Dev, you got a favorite?
My favorite shirt of his is the I am the United States champion, or the one where he, it basically says he's the United States champion. I think it's funny.
Was it the champ is here and then the arrow?
The belt on the shirt. I hated that.
I like that he can just know when to be in on the joke. And he's got good timing. He's good at it. He is funny. My favorite match would be the 3-way between John Cena, Christian, and Chris Jericho. It's so cool. And like those three guys had really good chemistry.
Strikes again.
God,
that's my favorite match. His best match.
We're gonna start a 3-way counter for how many times Dev mentions 3-way.
To be fair,
he'll stop it after 3.
To be
Keep
fair,
track in the comments, and you get a free shirt.
I did think Dev was going to go for one of, if not both of, the once in a lifetime matches.
I thought he was going to go for the Lesnar Rollins 3-way from Rumble 2015.
That was actually a good one, though. That was actually a good one.
Grumpy,
That's
just to let
exactly
you
what they'd
know,
expect.
John Cena and The Rock was billed as the WrestleMania main event as a once in a lifetime match, which they then repeated at the very next WrestleMania.
Wasn't that the one that they announced it like a year in advance?
Yep.
No,
And then
no,
it was
that
going to be
was
a
once in a
year-long build
lifetime.
to it?
Twice
Yeah.
in a lifetime happened after Cena won the Rumble and Rock won the title off Punk. Actually,
Yeah.
I was actually in the building for Twice in a Lifetime.
Oh, were you?
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was wondering why I didn't get to see Brodus Clay and the Funkadactyls against, or no, sorry, Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls
You gave that
against Team
much.
Rhodes Scholars in the
Somebody
Bellators.
call my mama.
You actually gave a crap about that dog shit booking?
Brother,
well,
I was 10.
John Cena versus
Fair.
John Cena
Fair.
versus Shawn Michaels is his best match. That's the one I think
yeah.
is his best.
Grumpy, I don't think you really have a dog in this fight.
Well, the one that I watched, or the one of the three that I watched, is the Shawn Michaels match. So I'll go with that.
There you go.
Your
As far
favorite
as
piece of
merch, I don't know. Does like Peacemaker mask count? I don't know.
I'd say it counts.
We'll let
You
it
have a
slide. We'll let
Peacemaker
it slide.
We'll let it
mask?
I
slide. Yeah,
don't,
I mean,
but I
it's
would love.
pretty
I'd
good.
like one.
Well, man, I think all of us from the Wrestle Collective, if somehow this gets to John, it won't. But thank you for
Follow
an
me,
amazing
Cena.
career.
I'm like the one person you don't follow.
Yeah, right.
If it gets to John, do a tiger spin against Gunther. Show off your Siamate.
It's it has been an absolute pleasure to see this man's whole career. Like I said, a lot of wrestlers don't get the benefit of calling their shot and letting you know when, hey, look, I'm done, while I can walk away. And John Cena has that perspective, and I'm happy for him. I hope nothing but the best for him in his future endeavors. That's not a joke. I do think we're going to see him in a lot more movies, a lot more TV shows, which I'm happy for. I'm excited about that. Again, he's had a great career. He is, to take this, from Carlos and WrestleFish, he transcended the business. He was bigger than the product, and there's only a few guys that could do that. Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and then you got to put in Cena, right? As far as guys who truly transcended the business, were bigger than the product. Sometimes that may have hurt him, in the sense of like what Hannibal said earlier, where he probably could have started in Hollywood a lot earlier, right? But he's been the consummate, corporate man, and you got to respect that. So whether you like him, whether you love him, you definitely got to say thank you, Cena. And we from the Wrestle Collective say thank you, Cena, for an amazing career and great memories that you've given us. I'm very excited to see this match on Saturday, just for all the bells and whistles that are going to be around it, if anything. So very excited, very happy about that. But that is going to do it for us here at the Wrestle Collective. Please, if you can, guys, please make sure to follow everybody in here. Make sure to follow the Wrestle Collective page. That's at WC Worldwide. Please, and if you're watching this on Twitter, always make sure to come over to the YouTube channel. If you want to be involved in the chat, we see all the comments. So please make sure to like, subscribe, share this, hit that notification bell to let you know when we go live. And we go live every Thursday, 5:30 Central. And just before we get out of here, as the year's wrapping up, just to let you guys know the schedule, we will be taking off Christmas week. So we'll be making some content up until then. And please make sure to look out for 2026. 2026 is going to be.
So next week will be our last show of the year.
Will be our last show of the year. Yes, it will be. So we're going to have a nice, fun show. Maybe some cameos, maybe some special guests, for, something like that. Got some things up the sleeve. So we're gonna go out and end the year with a bang, and we're gonna start the year off with an even bigger bang, because 2026 is going to be huge for the collective. We got potential partnerships on the way. We got new merch on the way. We got new podcasts. We're diversifying. We're gonna have
whole lot of new
coming for the Wrestle Collective in 2026. So for all of us, all of our supporters, everybody who's been here, everybody who's liked, subscribed, who's viewed, who's shared, who's retweeted, all of that, we thank you. We definitely thank you. We would not be here without you guys. And we just hope to continue to have your support in the future. And again, I want to thank all my collective brethren. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to talk some wrestling. That's going to do it for us. Please make sure to tune in next week for our last show of the year. Make sure to follow everybody here. Check us out on Twitter. We're always going to be in a random space or something like that. But that's going to do it for the Wrestle Collective. You guys be safe.
Fuck
Fuck
Cody
Roman
Rhodes.
Reigns.
Put the
Keep
belt back on
Cody.
Cena.
No.
Ladies and gents, thanks for stopping by. And until next time, this is the Wrestle Collective.